There are lots of types of clutter in our homes. To name a few: sentimental clutter, things that don't have a home yet, clutter, fantasy self-clutter, clothes that don't fit us anymore or yet, and then potentially useful clutter, just in case clutter. That's what I have in my hands and that I'm dealing with on all of these shelves behind me right now. Potentially useful clutter in our homes might look like extra towels that we hang on just in case we need them, extra sheets just in case, an extra appliance, and we have the space for it in our home, so why not keep it? That's all potentially useful clutter, stuff we're not using but we might want someday. It's clutter that begs the question, what if I need it someday? That kind of clutter can cause stress because it's something you have to continue to manage, take care of, clean, remember that you have it, move in order to get out something behind it, like in your kitchen. My name is Erica Lucas and I share videos on this channel about decluttering, minimalism, and simple living. And I am dealing with all of these shelves behind me today. There's 3 sets of 5 shelves each that I set up, 4 or 5 months ago. I organized, and it's not serving me now on this date, several months later. It's a bunch of stuff that I'm hanging on to just in case. And I thought that maybe we could tackle just in case clutter together. The first tip I have for you is to name the emotion that's associated with the item that you are holding on to just in case. Is it a gift? You feel bad donating it or trashing it? Is it financial guilt that is holding you back? You spent money on it, but you didn't use it, and now you don't want to get rid of it because you might need it, and therefore the value that you spent on that item will come to fruition because you saved it and you spent money on it and you did end up needing it. Is it a fear that you won't have it when you need it or want it? You have to name what is attached to the just-in-case item that's holding you back from letting it go. This shelf in particular, for me, represents 2 feelings: fear and failure. Failure because I chose these items, I spent money on these items, I planned to use these items when I was schooling the kids this year. That's why I have it featured on this shelf. This shelf has resources for geography, for world geography, United States geography, a little of American history as well. That's something we're starting to broach in 4th grade, 3rd grade, not really my youngest in 1st grade, but definitely my 4th grader and my 3rd grader, we're starting to have these discussions. I thought that I would be using this way more than I do. And so for the failure part, I feel like I failed to see how they might learn those topics in advance. And for me, admitting and accepting that feeling means I have to let go of my expectations of what I thought we might use and lean into the things that are working. My fear comes in because I'm afraid if I get rid of something, it might be the thing that connects them to learning that concept. Like a puzzle, a book, a game, something that just is like, oh, I get what you're saying now because I had this resource. I'm finding that learning, at least with my children, doesn't really happen with that one magical resource. It's a combination of things, it's repetition, and they're not really learning with this side of the shelf. Definitely with puzzles. So my second tip that I thought of when I was doing this is to see if you could use something else in place of the item that you're hanging on to. You could do this one of 2 ways. Do you have something that could substitute or be an alternative? My answer is yes. The kids are learning with an app, Stack the States and Stack the Countries, an actual map that we have hanging on our wall, the globe, documentaries, videos, puzzles, board games. That is how my children are grasping geography in our country and in our world. And if I lean into those things, I already have those things at the ready. We're not grabbing this and learning from this. This is a scripted geography curriculum. My kids don't really respond to that. But the rest of this is just potentially useful clutter. The second way that you can use an alternative is to borrow it from a friend or a family member. I was like, I know just the American history book that we need to learn this topic. The library probably has this, or one of my homeschool friends in this area probably has it, if I have decided that this book is the answer. Okay, so now that I'm looking at this, I am actually going to keep just a couple of these books. Okay, I'm just going to shove this in here for now. I'm going to keep the books reference books are always good for us. I'm just gonna move them to the shelf behind me because the idea is to clear these shelves. I'm going to move this. Okay, that's a sign from the universe to throw it away. And this, okay, fine. I'm going to donate this. And I've already started organizing piles for these shelves. This is my donate pile for right now. I'm going to donate these. And I have a homeschool co-op table that I can put these on next month. I'm gonna keep these because my oldest likes them. He likes to quiz himself. I'm going to keep the puzzles. The puzzles are gonna stay, all 3 puzzles. I'm gonna keep the scrunch map. Am I gonna keep the scrunch map? Because we have that map. Am I gonna keep the scrunch map? The scrunch map is so awesome. You literally can scrunch it and it doesn't rip or tear. And this is a dollar store map that you can see has been torn. What if I just get rid of this, clear the wall, keep this, and then anytime we want to reference the map, which is usually just my daughter, she likes to play Stack the States and then look at the map while she's doing it. She can get the map out wherever she's playing the game. I just talked myself into it. Okay, just shoved it back in the bag. That's gonna stay because it's just a small little thing that I need to keep. And the puzzles. And then this is just like a blow up ball that you put stickers on for continents. I thought it would be, I think I got it from the dollar store probably, but I thought it would be great for my first grader to use to apply his knowledge of states and oceans, but it's going in the donate pile because we just look at the globe and answer that question. It's fine that he's 7 and can't practically apply continents and oceans. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the books, move them behind me. I'm gonna keep this, keep this. Okay, my binder's falling apart, so I'm just gonna tuck it up here while I continue talking to you. But what I'm gonna pull out of here are the learning objectives that I identified for 4th grade and 3rd grade for my older 2 kids, and just see what I can use to match that learning objective. Each year, my husband kind of sit down and ask, what should Brandon learn this year? What should Becca learn? And what should Jack learn? And then we also ask them what they want to learn. So my husband had named rivers and mountains of our country, kind of US geography, but where states are for our 4th grader and 3rd grader. So I want to pull out of here what I think I can use, and then I'm going to pitch it. This was curriculum I bought from Teachers Pay Teachers. You know how you like to sit here and play Stack the States?
Yeah.
What if I didn't hang anything there and just got this out for you every time you play your game? And just, you don't have to sit here now and play your game. You can take your map anywhere you play your game. Do you like that idea?
Yeah.
But look at this, it's called a scrunch map. You can scrunch it up and it's not gonna rip and tear like the other one on the wall.
So I can just do this.
You could do that with it.
Yeah.
And now unfold it and lay it back out. What do you think? Do you like this idea? Thumbs up. Okay. When she plays Stack the State, she's going to use a scrunch map, like the questions that are, Michigan is north of which state? Mm-hmm. And she has 4 choices. She can use a scrunch map instead of that. And then she doesn't have to sit here to play her game.
She can do it wherever she wants.
Yeah, and this is torn, plus it gets it off the wall right by the front door.
Sounds good.
So, Becca, do you want the satisfaction of putting that map in the trash?
Yeah.
I bet you do.
Go for it. Do it more. Do it as much as you want.
That's so good.
My 3rd tip is to declutter with a deadline. This, you might call it a maybe bin. The Dawn at the Minimal Mom calls this the time will tell basket or bin. I call it decluttering with a deadline, where you have made the decision to not live with that item in your home anymore. Put it in a box and then label the date that you're gonna donate it. Maybe you give yourself a month, 3 months, a year, whatever it might be. You are giving yourself a window of time to use that item, to go back and say, actually, I did need this bowl. I did need this book. I did need that pencil sharpener. And then you can pull it out and pull it back into your life because you have figured out that you do need it. But if you stick to that deadline of 3 months, 1 month, 1 week, 1 year, whatever it might be, and you haven't gone back into that maybe box, you can take that box and donate it. Decluttering with a deadline means you have made the decision, but you're living with that decision for a designated period of time. The other part of making that work is an accountability friend. Someone who's going to say, it's been 3 months, check your watch. It's been 3 months. It's time to donate that box. You can find these kinds of accountability friends in decluttering Facebook groups, your own friend who is trying to live with less. A fourth tip to getting rid of our stuff that we're hanging on to just in case is to remember your decluttering why. Why are you wanting to live with less? Why were you even thinking about decluttering that item in the first place? And thinking through those reasons can be motivation to help you let go of it. So the why for me and these particular shelves is that I need to repurpose these shelves for board games. We have run out of space for storing our board games in a way that makes it easy to find and get out and put away. We had 2 birthdays and a Christmas, and we have added more board games to our collection. It is a huge part of our family culture and lifestyle at this season of life. We play a lot of board games, nearly every single day. That category has just outgrown that boundary. I want to put all of our board games on 2 or 3 of these shelves behind me so that we have more space for the thing that we love and we're prioritizing in our life right now. And so it's easier to get out and put away. In order for me to do that, I don't want to buy new furniture or a new way of storing it. I want to make it in our face every day so we can just walk over to the shelf, get it, and play. And so I'm using what I have. I wasn't really using these shelves anymore. We school all throughout the house. We haven't been schooling from a lot of what I thought we would be that I stored on these shelves 4 or 5 months ago. So it was time for me to address these just-in-case items. My 5th tip is kind of a big one to accept, and that's open space. And when we have potentially useful clutter or just-in-case clutter, and we have the space to store it, it becomes a justification for hanging on to it. Well, I have the space, so I might as well just hang on to it just in case. This project behind me actually started with me getting my husband's books off these shelves. Initially, this room was supposed to be like my husband's library, but it didn't work out that way because every 4 or 5 months I like to change its space, particularly this one. And so I moved all of my husband's books from here and from our family room onto a shelf under our bedroom. Moved his books upstairs. And that left open space where I used to have those shelves. And my first thought was, what do I want to put here? And I had to stop myself and say, nothing. I'm just going to live with this open space for a little while and see if something comes up. Or if it can just be open space that I don't have to manage. My last tip is to be honest and ruthless about the stuff you want to keep versus the stuff you want to get rid of. So I had these in my hands. These were gifted to me by another mom. And I was thinking, one of our curriculums calls for this. And this could be great for learning fractions. And I was holding it. And I'm like, well, that's all potentially useful. I'm hanging on to it just in case this is the way that they connect to that math concept. And I'm like, I gotta be honest with myself. If we're learning those mathematical concepts, it's usually because we've practiced it in a way in the workbook. We've watched videos, we've used it in our lives. This is just not the way we've learned with these particular kinds of manipulatives. So I have to be honest with myself. And then if I keep this, it's just one more thing for me to manage on these shelves or in my storage closet. And if I'm ruthless about it, I let all of it go. And it's going to go to another family. It doesn't need to be in my family. Another family would really love this. Maybe even a preschooler would really benefit from learning shapes and counting with actual figures, different colors, learning colors. There are plenty of ways that this could have a new life in another family. And so I have to be honest and ruthless and let it go. One tried and true way that I declutter is to reverse declutter, where I decide what to keep first and then evaluate everything I didn't choose to keep. And so doing that, I didn't choose this. This wasn't an immediate yes for me. Watch this video next because I reverse decluttered all of my cleaning products and left myself with 5 spray bottles and got rid of a lot. This video is how I reverse decluttered that. Thank you for being here and sharing time with me today. I hope you're doing well.